The Blessed One said by Vajrayana that you thought to pose a question to the Tathagata on this topic is good, very good. He said, for what purpose do Tathagatas arise in the world? The Blessed One said by Vajrayana, those who are possessed of much learning and highly knowledgeable know the arising of Tathagatas. Once they know of the arising of Tathagatas, they know the arising of Tathagatas to be a source of happiness. At the time when Tathagatas arise in the world, sentient beings know all dharmas. Through skillful means they know the dharmas. They know mundane and supramundane phenomena. They know the mundane and supramundane wisdom. He said, having realized wisdom itself, what nirvana do they seek out? The Blessed One said by Vajrayana, once they have thoroughly understood the Dharma, they thoroughly know the Dharma by Vajrayana. Similarly, once they have thoroughly known the holy Dharma in a condensed form, the first attainment arises. Keeping in mind the Dharma just as they have heard it, they will attain the possession of Dharma. By Vajrayana, it is as follows. To make an analogy, a man became a trader, took 1,000 man-load of gold, and set off seeking profit. His parents say to him, son, listen, take this 1,000 coin load of gold, carry well this gold of ours and of others. That trader carried away the gold, and by the time a month had passed, he had squandered all that gold. After it was gone, the man reflected and became extremely unhappy. He was pierced with great agonizing pains in his heart. He was filled with remorse and shame, and did not go to his own home. His parents heard of this and fell into despair. Their hearts were pierced with great agonizing pains, and even their clothes were torn. This bad son was born into our household in the form of a son, and also destroyed our household's entire capacity to sustain itself. He has been useless to us, and we have been made to suffer. He has forced us into work as servants. Speaking thus, they lamented. After his parents had fallen into despair, they died. Then hearing that his parents had despaired of him and died, the son also fell into despair and died. In just the same way, by Vajrayana, although the Tathagata explains these matters, those who have no faith in my teachings will lose hope, and at their time of death, they will die with their hearts pierced with great agonizing pains, just as those parents fell into despair and suffered because of the gold, and had their hearts pierced with great agonizing pains because of their own and others' gold. In the same way too, by Vajrayana, those who have no faith in my teachings, afterwards, at their time of death, are tormented and cry out in lamentation. They experience painful feelings, and after they have wasted the merits they previously created, they do not later create the merit that is associated with a good feel, because they have great agonizing pains piercing their hearts. At that time, at that moment, once they have seen the ceaseless, cruel places of rebirth in hell, and as animals, and the realm of rebirth in the world of Yama, at their time of death, they will think thus, who will be my protector, so that I will not see the worlds of hell beings, animals, pretas, and Yama, and so that I will not experience those painful feelings. That one's parents will say, child, the great terrifying thing, that is illness, cannot come about. How could that be? Although those who are dying fear sickness, in your case, son, there is no death. For the fear and terror of disease, you will be set free. My consciousness is ceasing. My body too is badly damaged. All my limbs are in pain. I'm coming to see my death. My eyes do not see, and my ears do not hear, nor will anything reach my nose. My body has no endurance. My body is pain from limb to limb. Just like a tree, I'm mindless, saying my death is not nearing. Mother, please just cheer me up. The mother said, Son, it is not right that you say that. Do not frighten me so badly. Since your body is racked with a plague, you will see all sorts of things. The son said, But I see no plague in my body. I have no sickness and no pain. I see extremely unbearable death. My beloved body will be destroyed, since I have seen my whole body overpowered by suffering. To whom will I go for refuge? Who will be my protector? The parents said, Son, a deva must be punishing you. But if offerings are made to the devas after that, you will recover. The son said, Whatever will make me recover, I ask you please to do just that. Please go quickly and make haste and make inquiries to the priest. At that, his parents went before the altar of the deva and gave incense for the deva. Then the priest offered the incense to the deva and said the following, The deva is punishing you. Therefore, you must honor the deva, sacrifice to the deva, kill livestock, kill a man too, and then your son will be released from his illness. At that, those parents thought, But we are poor. What can we do? If we don't appease the deva, our son will die. If we are to appease him, since we are poor, from where will we get a person and livestock? With these thoughts they made haste and quickly went home. They took the few household items of any substance that they possessed to sell in order to buy livestock. After that, they approached another man. Sir, if you could give us some gold on loan, and we are able to pay it back in 10 days, that would be good. But if we are unable to pay it, we agree now to become your servants and do work. They said this, and then the two of them carried off that gold and went to buy a man. The two of them bought a man, but that man did not know that he would be killed. At that, the parents became confused and did not return to their home. Instead, they went before the altar and said to the priest, Quick, make the sacrificial offering. Then the two parents killed the livestock themselves, and they also killed the man. Then the priest, intending to make the sacrificial offering, kindled a fire, and at that the deva descended and said, I have accepted your son. Then the parents overflowed with joy and elation. If our son is cured, even if we become servants, that is far superior, they said. After making the sacrifice to the deva, they returned home, and when they arrived there, they saw that their son had died, and that the two parents, suffering and in deep despair, were pierced through their hearts with great agonizing pains. With their hopes dashed, they died right there, and in just the same way, by Vajrayana, one should not associate with non-virtuous friends. He said, Blessed One, may I ask where those sentient beings were born? The Blessed One said, Be quiet, Vajrayana. Do not ask me. He said, Blessed One, I ask. Sugata, I ask. The Blessed One said, On that occasion, Vajrayana, the mother was born in the great hell called the Hell of Lamentation. The father was born in the great hell called Crushing Hell. The son was born in the great hell called Hot Hell. The priest was born in the great hell of Avicii. He said, Blessed One, where was that innocent man reborn? What was his future life? The Blessed One said, Here, by Vajrayana, that blameless man was reborn among the devas of the heaven of 33. He said, Blessed One, what was the reason and what was the condition for that man to be born equal in fortune to the devas of the heaven of 33? The Blessed One said, Listen, Vajrayasena, that man, at his time of death, with a mind of faith in the Tathagata, said one time, I prostrate to the Buddha. Vajrayasena, due to that root of virtue, he will experience the happiness of the devas of the 33 for 60 aeons. For 80 aeons he will recollect past lives. Life after life, he will be free of all painful sorrows. As soon as he is born, he will ward off all sufferings. Those sentient beings are all unable to fully overcome sorrow. He said, Blessed One, how will all sentient beings be capable of fully overcoming sorrow? The Blessed One said, Vajrayasena, they must exert effort. He said, Blessed One, which exertion of effort? The Blessed One said, Vajrayasena, listen. What is called effort is the demonstration of results. It is as follows. What is called the result of stream entry is a place of effort. What is called the result of one's returning is a place of effort. What is called the result of non-returning is a place of effort. What is called the result of arhatship and the cessation that is the result of an arhat is a place of effort. What is called the result of a Pacceka Buddha and the knowledge of the result of a Pacceka Buddha is a place of effort. What is called the result of a Bodhisattva and the place of enlightenment is a place of effort. Vajrayasena, these are what are called places of effort. He said, Blessed One, how are a stream enterer and the result of stream entry to be shown? The Blessed One said, It is as follows. To make an analogy, one man planted a tree, and on that very day the tree took root, and on that very same day those roots went down a yojana. Another man too planted a tree in the same way, but on that very day it was shaken by the wind, and that tree did not take root. Then this man removed the tree from that place, and also the other man said, Why did you dig up my earth? And they quarreled and disputed. After that, at that time, the king heard that those two men were quarreling and disputing, and he sent a messenger saying, Go and bring those two men. As you command, your majesty. He said and raced off in great haste. He said to the two men, The king summons you. At that, one of the men became frightened and apprehensive, but the other man, without fear or apprehension, was led to where the king was. After they had been led there, they were seated in the presence of the king. Then the king said to the two men, Sirs, why were you quarreling and disputing? At that, the two men arose and addressed the king, Great king, please lend us your ear. Since we do not own any land at all, a tree was planted on a plot of borrowed land. After that, because it was shaken by the wind, it did not put down roots, and neither leaves nor flowers nor fruit appeared. Great king, its roots did not go down a yojana. And this man fought and disputed with me, saying, It's your fault. Nevertheless, since I'm innocent, your majesty, please kindly understand that I'm not even slightly guilty. Then that king sent for his 30 million ministers, and when they had assembled, he commanded, You should speak. The ministers said, What should we speak about? Have you ever seen or heard that on the very day a tree was planted, it put down roots and leaves, flowers and fruit appeared? In a week or half a month, make a determination of this case. At that, those ministers arose from their seats and addressed the king. Great king, it is not appropriate for us to make a determination in this case. We are incapable of determining it. Great king, this is wondrous. For now this man himself should be spoken to. Sir, is what was said true? Speak. He said, Great king, indeed it is true. The king said, On the very day a tree was planted, roots went down, and leaves, flowers, and fruit appeared. On that very day you say, These words of yours are hard to believe. No such thing has been seen or heard. At that, the man placed palms together and spoke these words before the king. Kindly go and plant a tree yourself. Please watch as the roots take hold. Then the king and the 30 million ministers went out together, and the two men were placed in prison. Then the king himself planted a tree, and that tree neither took root, nor did leaves, flowers, or fruit appear. So the king became enraged and said, You, go quickly, come back with axes for felling trees. They were fetched, and enraged at the tree planted by that man, he cut the leaves, flowers, and fruit that had arisen on that tree. As soon as he cut that single tree, 12 trees appeared. He cut the 12 trees, and there appeared 24 trees made of the 7 precious substances, together with roots, leaves, and shoots. Then from those 24 trees there appeared 24 birds with golden crests and golden beaks, and feathers made of the 7 precious substances. At that, the king was overcome with rage, and taking the axe in his own hand, chopped at a tree. From the tree that he had chopped, nectar appeared. The king was troubled by that and issued instructions, Go and remove those 2 men from prison, as you command, your majesty. He raced off that very instant. The 2 men were removed from the prison and led to where the trees were. The king said, Did you plant the tree that multiplied when it was cut and became 24? The tree I planted did not grow roots or leaves or flowers or fruit. Then that man said, Great king, you are not endowed with the sort of merit I have. At that, the 30 million ministers knelt, placing both knees on the ground, and said to the man, This previous king is not fit, therefore you should be king. Then that man addressed the ministers in verse, A king's enjoyment is of no use to me, nor have I need of wealth or grain. Since in the Buddhas I have faith, among humans may I become supreme. May I go where the Tathagata is, to the sphere of nirvana, which is peace, the Dharma that leads home to nirvana. That should be explained to you. Seating himself cross-legged, he then made this avowal. Due to actions I did in the past, I came to be in the king's jail. But by uttering this prayer, may my karma be depleted. At that, 24 million birds with diamond beaks struck cymbals. Then at that time, at that moment, 32,000 towering palaces appeared. Each of the towering palaces measured 25 yojanas, and from each towering palace there emerged 25 million birds with golden crests and golden beaks and golden faces. They uttered human speech. When you, O king, cut that tree, the deed that you did was not good. In place of 100 million trees, there came to be just 24. You did not know what sort of being is the one who planted this tree. Due to this wicked act, you will later undergo unpleasant results. The king said, I do not know the meaning of this. Thus, great ascetic, please explain. The bird said, It is he who illuminates the world. and will become its guide. From the prison that is samsara, he liberates all beings. The king said, the person whose tree did not grow, that second person, who was he? What wicked action did he do? Twice born birds, let it be told. The bird said, the person whose tree did not grow, that was the foolish Devadatta. Not having done even slight virtues, how is a person's tree to grow? Then, at that time, at that moment, after the 30 million ministers heard this Dharmaparyāya, they will all establish on the 10 grounds. They each gained clairvoyance. The king too was established on the 10 grounds and attained a clear realization of virtuous Dharma.